They have torn down the buildings of Exham Priory, dynamited its foundations, and imprisoned me in an asylum for the criminally insane when they must know that I could not have committed the atrocities I am accused of. I couldn't. No sane man could. But to clear my name and restore my family's honor, I need to begin at the beginning and tell what is truly responsible for the horrors found. I purchased the priory in 1918. It needed extensive restoration, but because it had been the seat of my ancestors, I vowed to let no expense deter me. My family is descended from the 11th Baron of Exham, Walter Delapore, whose son emigrated to Virginia during the reign of James I. Sadly, I was almost immediately distracted from the restoration when my son, Alfred, came home from the war as an invalid. During the 2 years he lived, I thought of nothing but his care, and at the end of 1920, found myself bereaved and aimless, finally resolving to rebuild the priory in his honor. I was assisted in this by Captain Edward Norreys, who commanded Alfred in the Royal Flying Corps. The captain was a plump English eccentric and vital in helping me make the transition from Boston to the little village of Anchester, a place that hadn't changed since the Middle Ages. And more importantly, Norreys was also a knowledgeable antiquarian with extensive expertise in classical architecture, religion, and languages.
I must say, Delapore, the workers have done a cracking job on this place, what? I mean, it looks better every time I see it.
Well, it's progressing, but I shudder at the work that still needs to be done.
True, but at the end of the day, think of all the history you're preserving here.
Well, there is history here, and according to the good people of Anchester, much of it horrific.
Yes, wouldn't put much stock in it. Ancient families such as ours are chock full of weird old wives' tales, you know. Yeah. Oh, yes, they're very common.
Tales of how the priory was infested with werewolves and bat-winged devils, a place of witches and Sabbaths and graveyard stenches.
True enough, yeah. And of course, old man, don't forget the rats.
The rats?
Yeah.
Don't think I've heard that one.
Oh, sorry. Pay no attention. Yes, just a mad tale around Exham.
What is it?
It's nothing.
Truly doubt it can be much worse than what I've already heard.
Oh, well, it seems that... Oh, well, it's just rubbish.
Come on, Norreys, tell. Yeah. After all, it's just an old wives' tale.
Well, it's something right out of Brothers Grimm, about an army of vermin bursting out of the priory just after your ancestor left and devouring all that went before it. Like all the birds, the cats, the dogs, the sheep, even 2 servants, they say, you know, before its fury was spent.
Good Lord, that is definitely one I haven't heard.
The thing is, there's hardly any field mice in these parts. Let alone rats. Nothing for them to feed on. But I say, let's forget about the penny dreadfuls, shall we? The true story of Exham lies in its curious architecture.
That is a good word for it.
Yes, I tell you, old man, I could teach a master class in an ancient building here with Gothic towers built on Saxon foundations, which is a blend of still earlier works. Roman, Druidic, perhaps even native Cymric. And its structures are most singular, being merged with the limestone cliff overlooking the valley.
You've made quite a study of the place.
Yes, and if one worships history and architecture the way I do, this place is a Wagnerian Walhalla.
I only wish my Alfred could have seen this. All of it would have gone to him.
Yes, your son was a brave lad. We flew many missions together. I dearly miss the boy. The war cut down so many too soon.
Yes, the great war to end all war. Even the twisted mind of Edgar Allan Poe couldn't conceive of such rot.
Yeah, I must say, I do agree. As long as man survives, I fear that he shall always find new and more devastating ways of destroying himself.
A world war, Norris, in the 20th century. Such a waste. Such a god-awful waste.
Oh, and what have we here?
Oh, you haven't met, have you?
No. Yeah, well, it's a handsome lad, isn't it? Emerald eyes and black as midnight.
Well, she is a beautiful goddess. Her name is Bastet.
Ah, Bastet, the Egyptian goddess of protection, eh?
Yes, exactly, and just what's needed here.
Yes, if you believe old wives' tales, of course. Yeah.
Come, Bast! Oh, she's an old girl. But now that the construction has died down, I had to send for her.
Yes, well, must be off. Still on for golf this weekend?
Oh, of course, but you're always welcome at the Priory, which could be construed as a bit of a curse.
Oh, I do highly doubt that, not with a goddess like Bastet to protect me. Isn't that right, old girl? Yes.
That night, I retired to the West Tower, which held my bedchamber. It's a circular room decorated with tapestries, and I was very happy to switch off the lights and sink into the soft mattress, with my cat in her accustomed place across my feet. But soon I fell into dreams of the most horrible sort. I seemed to be looking down from an immense height upon a twilit grotto, knee-deep in filth, where a white-bearded demon drove a flock of flabby fungus things that filled me with loathing. Then, as the demon paused and nodded over his terrible task, a mighty swarm of rats rained down on the grotto, devouring beasts and man alike. From this horror I was suddenly awakened by Bastet sinking her claws into my ankles, for the chamber was alive with the nauseous sounds heard in my dream, the verminous scurrying of ravenous, gigantic rats. I quickly switched on the lights and saw the tapestry shaking as if in a dance of death. But this weird motion stopped almost at once, and the sound with it. I cautiously poked at a tapestry with the long handle of a warming pan to see what was behind. It was only the silent stone wall. Well, girl, we're not sleeping tonight, are we? We could use a brandy and you some milk, yes? Come on, Bast. Let's go downstairs. Wait. Good Lord. Is that coming from the great room? Careful! Oh, Bast! It sounds like they're falling, like a waterfall.
Oh, sir, you're up, are ya?
Baker! Did you also hear it?
You mean our cats, sir?
Your cats.
Aye, they all gone wild, like.
Something threw them into a right panic, it did.
That's what it'd be, a right panic.
They was yowling.
And running.
And scratching.
So you also heard them?
You mean the cats?
I mean the rats.
Rats?
Yes, in the walls.
Mr. Delapore, that don't be possible. There ain't no rats in these parts.
That's what I've been told, but I heard them.
In the wall, sir?
As I've said, it was as if they were falling down to someplace further below.
Well, there'd be a cellar and a sub-cellar underneath.
A sub-cellar?
Yeah, it'd be a bit hard to find, but they say it'd be more than 1,000 years old.
You mean it's concealed?
Aye.
Well, let's leave that for another day. We should all get some sleep.
Can I get you anything?
Thank you, Mrs. Baker.
Well, pleasant dream then.
Too late for that.
Sir?
Off to bed with you.
Aye, sir. Sleep tight.
Night, sir.
Hello?
Norris, it's Delapore.
Delapore?
I'm sorry to wake you at this hour.
Is something amiss?
No. Well, listen, forgive me, Norris. I don't know why I'm disturbing you. I really shouldn't have called so late.
Perfectly fine, old man. What is it?
It's insane. It was this dream.
A dream? What?
Rats.
Rats?
Raining down, devouring everything.
Like the old tale. Sorry, old man. I knew I shouldn't have told you that.
No, it's more than that because I heard them, Norris. I heard them when I woke up.
Heard?
I heard the rats in my room and even down below.
What?
Norris, listen, do you think you might come by later today? My man Baker tells me there's a sub-cellar here.
A sub-cellar, you say?
Yes. He says it's concealed.
Bit like a crypt. What?
Crypt.
Yeah. Not surprising, old man. Told you, there's much history there.
The entrance to the sub-cellar was made to look like part of the wall, but my man Baker easily found it. Norris and I could not repress a thrill, knowing that this vault had been made by Roman hands. Every low arch, every massive pillar was Roman. Not the debased architecture of the Saxons, but the severe and harmonious classicism of the Caesars. Indeed, the walls around us abounded with Roman inscriptions that quickened Norris' antiquarian heart.
Prague, versus, Pontifi, Attis.
Attis.
Yes, the Phrygian deity.
Yes, well, I've read Catullus and know something of the Attian rites.
Yes, which the Romans mixed with Cybele.
And which included castrations, yes?
Yes, they did, but probably symbolically. I say, old man, do you see all these blocks about?
Irregular, but definitely rectangular.
Yes. Do you know, I think these could be altars.
Altars?
Yes. Of course. Why not?
Oh, you might be right.
Yes.
Do you see the markings on this one?
Yes, sort of a rayed sun.
Roman, you think?
I think not. There was no sun worship in Rome. I think it's much older, perhaps from a aboriginal temple.
You think that's what this place was?
Romans built temples on holy sites, those they conquered. And Christians did the same with this priory. I say, do you see these stains? Brownish.
It's like dried blood.
Yes, precisely. The one over there seems to be the largest.
It also seems to be dead center in the vault.
It's blackened, probably from soot.
Burnt offerings?
Most probably.
Where is Bast?
Pardon?
My cat, where is she?
Did she follow us down?
She did, but where is she?
I don't see her.
Bastet, come!
She'll come to you.
Always. Bast, come!
Cats can hide in an empty barrel if they have a mind to.
Baker closed the door behind, so she couldn't have gotten out. Bast, come! Well, the only thing to do is wait. I'll have Baker bring down a cot.
A cot? You, thinking of spending the night here?
I have to. I'm not leaving her here alone. But there's no need for you to stay.
And miss a cracking good adventure? I should say not. Damn the torpedoes, bring on the cops.
Well, there you be, sir.
Thank you, Baker.
Should I be getting another cot for myself?
For you?
Aye. To be helping you, gents.
No need.
You sure? It'd just be the two of you down here? You think that will be safe?
I think we can survive a night in my own home, don't you?
Well, of course, sir, but down here, is this,
This what?
This hellhole, sir, is what he'd be meaning to say.
Maggie!
It's just, we'd be worried for you.
I appreciate that, Mrs. Baker, but we'll be perfectly fine.
Well, I brung hot coffee, bacon butty, crisps, and treats for Puss.
And an extra torch and lantern.
Jolly good.
And we just be up the steps if you need us.
Yes, and watch those steps. They're slippery.
Aye. Have a good night.
We will. Ta!
Ta.
I say.
Oh, excuse me, Norris. I didn't sleep last night.
Well, then have a lie down. I'll keep the first watch.
That's a capital idea. Bast will come when she comes.
Yes, most true. She's a cat, after all.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Are you suffering from high-quality podcasts? You see, quality podcasts stimulate parts of your brain, leading to an irksome condition called thinking. But suffer no more, my friend. Introducing Discount Storytime's blend of fictional nonsense and rancid gibberish to provide soothing relief. Try Discount Storytime today. Available on most podcast catchers and at discountstorytime.com.
Consult your healthcare provider before listening to Discount Storytime. Not intended to treat unicyclitis, pickleball liver, or jittering expectations.
The vault we were in was built into the foundations of the priory, far down on the face of the limestone cliff. That it had been the goal of the scuffling rats I could not doubt, though why I could not tell. As I closed my eyes, I found my rest soon mixed with dreams. But again they were horrible, like the one the night before of the grotto and the swineherd and his fungus flock. But this time the things, they seemed nearer and more distinct. So distinct that I saw the flabby face of one of them. And it could only be... Oh!
Delapore! Wake up! Wake up! You're having a nightmare, old man.
Norris, do you hear?
I do. It sounds like it's directly below our feet.
But it's a stone floor.
Yes, it's limestone. Erosion could have hollowed it out.
Bastet!
Ah, she's returned.
Where the devil were you? You had me worried half to death. Now what are you up to?
She's clawing at the central altar.
What is it, Bast? What?
She must hear or smell something. Let me fetch a lantern.
What is it, girl? What's that around the base, Norris? Lichen?
I believe so. It's covered in them. Maybe they hide an opening, what? Fetch a knife, old man. I'll try scraping them away.
Right. There you go.
Thanks.
Come here, girl.
I don't see anything. I wonder what spooked her.
Look at the lantern.
What?
How it's flickering. It must be from a draft of air.
By Jove, you're right. It has to be coming from below.
Another cellar.
Another crypt.
Do you think it moves?
The altar, if it does, it's a monumental piece of engineering, must weigh a ton.
Well, there should be a simple way of moving it, no?
Yes. Why do you think that?
Because if it is an altar, it was probably moved by a priest or priestess.
Ah, yes, I see. To demonstrate the power from the god.
Yes, exactly.
Well then, let's give it a go, what?
Would it slide or tilt?
I don't think sliding would work, no. But tilting, all you need is a counterweight. Let's try dead center.
Is it moving?
Yes, it is.
Let me help. Look!
I say, a downward passageway.
Oh, no, Bast, stop, no, oh, that cat.
Ah, she was a streak of black.
Bast, come back, Bastet.
Oh.
Damn her. Well, we do want to see what's down there.
Right now?
I have to get my cat.
Of course, yes. Perhaps we could enlist some help? Or...
Why?
Well, who knows what's bloody down there, right?
Scared, are you?
No, not scared, just British.
Didn't an Englishman write, "He who hesitates is lost"?
Actually, I believe it was the woman that deliberates is lost.
Well, then let's you and I stop acting like a couple of women.
All right. I'll fetch the torches.
Folks, we interrupt this evening's suspenseful presentation of The Rats in the Walls to bring you an important message from our sponsor, Knocked Out W Insect Spray.
Well, Joan, it's that time of year again.
What time is that, Alice?
The time when mosquitoes come around to remind you they still exist.
Ah, yes. The tiny vampires of summer, buzzing, biting, generously making themselves a nuisance.
They do have a way of doing that.
Well, you can always use a can of Knocks Out Double-Use Insect Spray.
Knocks out, huh? That sounds like a solution.
It is! Contains 5% DDT. Stops them in their tracks.
Ah, yes. Stops them from buzzing and biting, does it?
Works in the air, works on surfaces. Flies, mosquitoes, bed bugs. They don't stand a chance.
That sounds useful.
It is! Used it yesterday. No more mosquitoes, no more bugs at all. Really?
You didn't spray it on the food, did you?
No, Alice. Just around the house.
Good. I don't want to start worrying about getting rid of you next.
Just remember to pick up a can of Knocks Out Double-Use Insect Spray. It's what the mosquitoes don't want you to have.
I'll do that, Joan.
Thank you, ladies. We now return to the terrifying underground account of H.P. Lovecraft's The Rats in the Walls.
We were soon bent over in a cramped, descending passageway, feeling a faint current of cool air. This was not some noxious rush as from a closed vault, but a gentle breeze with something of freshness in it. It was then that Norris made the odd observation that, according to the direction of the strokes that cut the passageway, it must have been chiseled up from beneath. We saw there was light ahead, not some mystic phosphorescence, but filtered daylight, which could only come from fissures in the cliff that overlooked the valley. A few steps more, and our breaths were literally snatched from us by what we saw, so literally that Norris almost fainted. It was my dream, come terribly true. A twilit grotto of enormous height, stretching away farther than any eye could see, a subterranean world of limitless mystery and horrible suggestion.
Delapore, what in Hades is this?
Some sort of domed chamber.
Yes, but an enormous chamber. You could fit all of St. Paul's in here.
And in Buckingham Palace as well. How was this even made?
Do you think it was made?
Well, it doesn't look natural, does it?
No, it doesn't. The shape is much too regular. There. Do you see?
Where are you looking?
To the left.
What? No, that can't be.
It's Stonehenge, old man. A circle of standing stones.
And there, Norris, there, to the right. What? It's a Roman temple, yes?
Yes, and next to it, a Saxon tower.
And Norris, that wooden building over there, it looks Elizabethan, doesn't it?
It does.
But the floor, look at the floor.
Impossible. Impossible.
It's like a foaming sea.
Of skeletons. Delapore skeletons!
Are they human?
Earlier, I'd say. Earlier than Pilton man.
And look, skeletons of rats.
As if the humanoids were fighting them.
Or eating them.
Dear Lord.
Where is that cat? Bastet, come!
There must be thousands of skeletons in here.
How long have they been here?
400, 1,000, 2,000 years.
Norris, what are those?
They look like storage bins.
Bins, yes. Filled with even more skeletons.
Yes, but these are not humanoid. They're some sort of quadruped.
Look, on that Roman ruin, there's writing. Can you make it out?
Very ancient Latin.
Can you read it?
It seems to outline some sort of a recipe.
For the things in the bins.
Great Jove! Let's have a look at the English building.
Bastet, come! Damn her.
It's definitely Elizabethan, probably 1580s. Dear Jesus, do you see what this place is? Unbelievable.
What is it?
It's a butcher shop.
Dear God, but that can't can't be the purpose of the tower.
Let's look.
And please, Norris, keep an eye out for her, will you?
Of course, yes, of course.
That cat shouldn't be too hard to find against all this white.
The doors have rotted.
What?
On the tower.
What in blazes? Is this a jail?
More a dungeon. Look, this cell is occupied.
Yes, and the skeleton looks modern. Is that a ring on its finger?
Let me see. I say, you shan't believe this.
Now what?
It's a signet ring
Yes.
with your family crest.
Norris. This is a nightmare.
And we're wide awake, old man.
Let's get out of this place.
Delapore, do you see? There she is.
Where?
Yes, right there, on the top of the mountain of bones.
Bastard, come! I don't understand. She always comes when I call Bast.
Look directly behind her. Is that a cavern?
It looks like it. And more bins.
With more bones. Do you hear?
Dear God, help us. Bastet! Come!
Delapore, do you hear? Do you hear?
My old cat ran into a black, boundless cavern. But I was not far behind, and there was no doubt that after another second, I knew what we heard. It was the eldritch squealing of those fiend-born rats, leading me deeper and deeper into that grinning cavern, down to the earth's center where near Nathotep, the mad, faceless god howls. My light expired, but still I ran. I heard voices and yowls and echoes. But above all, I heard the insidious squealing, rising as a bloated corpse rises. Something bumped me, something soft and plump. Must have been the rats, that ravenous army that feast on all. Why shouldn't rats eat a Delapore as a Delapore eats forbidden things? As the woe ate my boy, God damn them! No, I tell you, I am not the demon in that filthy grotto. It was not Nori's fat face on that fungus thing. Who says I am a Delapore? He lived, but my boy died. It's voodoo, I tell you, that spotted snake. Curse you! I'll teach you to faint at what my family do. Splud! Thou stinkard, I'll learn how to gust. Won't ye swink me the thilkwees? Magna Mater. Artis. Dia ada gadza daduan angus das manakort. Das stolas ort. Agos leatza. Agos. They say they found me in blackness, bent over the plump, half-eaten body of Captain Edward Norris, with my cat, my Bastet, tearing at my throat. They have torn down the buildings of Exham Priory, dynamited its foundations, and imprisoned me in an asylum for the criminally insane. And they must know, I could not have committed the atrocities I am accused of. I couldn't! No sane man could. And they know it wasn't me. It was the rats. The scurrying, slithering rats that never let me sleep. The demon rats that beckon me down to even greater horror. The rats they can never hear. The rats in the wall.